Alright guys and girls, with 7 days left to spare, it is time to move on to level 6 in the Heaven and Hades event. So this is our second last chest on level 5, and when we open it up, we find the key. So our luck could have screwed us over a little bit there, but there we go, the key has been found and we will continue on. So now that we have a key, let's finally grab Brant and go home to give our findings to the professor. Sounds good to me. I've been taking notes to show Dad, which is easier said than done considering, you know, all the trembling. You're doing great, Ned. And you too, trainer. Oh, thank you, Arya. So for completing that level, we did manage to unlock the beautiful little vivid dragon. This dragon is, like I've said before, kind of like the cousin to the butterfly dragon, but a very cool little dragon nonetheless, and definitely fits the, you know, time rifty theme. So I'm very happy to get this epic dragon. And again, it's a pretty decent epic dragon for early to mid-game players to get a hold of as well. But without further ado, let us enter level 6. So, Brant, where are you? It's time for dragons and trainers and wannabe Vikings to go home. You know, the more we walk around, the more I get used to this place. It really is fascinating. Or maybe it's just the fact that there are no narrow walkways over endless abysses in this part of the rift. Yeah, it's probably that, Ned. So, now that we've moved on to level 6, this is what the map looks like. So you see there are a lot of different rooms going around, but we did check the cost of the chests and different, I guess you could say, ways to go in this event, but you know, it's going to take a lot of resets to finish off this level. Some of the costs on these levels are like 2,000 plus to actually purchase the tiles for them, so it's a very, very expensive and long-winded level to fully complete. So, there you are, Bran. Are you in trouble with another chrono divine? No, it saw me get scared and tried to make me under its wing. Or tried to take me under its wing. I think it wants to battle you to make sure you're strong enough to take me home. Not that I need to be chaperoned. Clearly not, Brant. Clearly not. So now we have to fight Chrono Aphrodite. Goodbye. Doesn't look very strong against Andy. See, Chrono Aphrodite, we don't want to hurt Bran, we just want to take him home, and we want to thank you for watching over him. And if you and the other Chrono Divines need a place to stay, well, Dragonlandia is pretty nice. Wow, Ned, that was really brave of you, and I agree, the dragons here could have gotten lost. Why don't we give them homes? Yes, give me a Chrono Aphrodite, that sounds perfect. Like, if you want to give me a Chrono Aphrodite, you go ahead. I kind of just wanted to ask the Chrono Aphrodite dragon who my soulmate might be, actually. God damn it, Ned. Think about the bigger picture. Think about it. So now we have the choice. We can either go left for 500, we can go down for 766 and another fight, and then there are 2 more tiles here, and we also have a couple of fights going up. And I mean, we have to open up every single chest anyway to eventually get Chrono Hades, so I'm just going to do these 2 battles right now. Why not? At the end of the day. Why not? Just go ahead and do it while we're here. Because otherwise I'll just do it off camera. And some people are like, you're not showing me the full level quest, you're going to show me every level, every fight, every tile. Otherwise I don't know what I'm doing. Luckily for us, a lot of these fights do require shadow. A lot of them do also require light. So the ones that only allow light are pretty sucky for our lantern dragon, but he can handle it. That was proven on level 5. That's still kind of annoying. Alright, so I just went ahead and got up the map for level 6 in the event. We did check this out yesterday, but now that we're actually here, we've got more context to it. And just so that you know, this chest, if you go from the middle in the section here where my mouse cursor is and you go to the bottom right-hand chest, just going down this way while doing the fights costs like 14,000 event currency. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. 14,000 event currency. Whereas if we take the chest in the bottom right but the lower down section, this chest is only like 4,000 altogether if we do the fights for it. And the chest on the very bottom left is also quite cheap. But the two top left and right chests, like I said, they are cheap chests, not quite as cheap as the other two. But the problem is, the one on the right is 900 event currency for the chest and has 2,300 costing tiles. So, if you want to have a good chance at doing the event, I would recommend avoiding this purple room right here, if it is the last thing you do with your life, because the tiles here are ridiculously expensive. But the cheapest chest by far is indeed this one, all things put together, like every tile put into consideration, and if you can do the fights. If you can't do the fights on this level, I don't know what to tell you. You are going to have a bad time. And the problem is, a couple of the fights, like with our lantern dragon, it is just slightly too hard for him to do on his own. So, just to make it easier, since I got a bunch of Dragon Fury Essence out of the Divine chests, I am just going to use Dragon Fury Essence whenever I need to, because I don't see a reason why I would want to make my event progress more difficult than it needs to be. So one use of Dragon Fury Essence is enough to get me through that fight, for example. But like right now, we can't actually gain any more event currency at the moment because we've cleared out everything but collecting food, which we will do soonish. But we can't move on any further. But even though this is 1100, it's one of the cheaper tiles on the level. So, you know, even though these chests are still quite cheap, instead of them making each chest cost like 2,500 event currency, they've just dolloped it all into these tiles on the bottom right for some reason. But hey, I mean, they want to make it as difficult as possible to get Mr. Chrono Hades. So even if you are on level 6 right now with a week to spare, you can't take this event non-seriously. Again, remember, it's like 34,000 is the minimum amount it is going to cost you to clear out everything on this level. So, it's not a good time. Not a good time at all. Actually, that's just enough to clear that next tile, isn't it? I didn't think the spring cherries were ready yet. Fine, look, we'll go one tile further. Next tile is 1340. There you go. I've fully cleared it now. I was incorrect before, but, you know, these events are certainly testing my patience, because it's just come back every 6 hours, do the exact same quests over and over again. It just gets really sluggish at this point when you get to the final stage. But regardless, we do have Mr. Vivid in our inventory somewhere, wherever he may be. Here he is. He's down here with the Flutterby. So, he's an epic with energy, shadow, and wind. Let's pop him into the hatchery. And it's a really cool egg. It almost looks like a Sonic egg. You know how he has the big spikes on his head? Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. But just over a day for him to hatch. He's in there with a bunch of demonic dragons at the moment. And soon we'll also have Kronos, so we can speed up some stuff, which is pretty good. But we will be earning a bit more event currency now, which is good as well. And there has been a bundle out for the butterfly dragon. Maybe it's to, you know, welcome his brethren, the Vivid, as well. But you can get him 20 divine tickets, some food, and a habitat for £8. It's not a very expensive deal, but £8 just for an epic and basically 0 divine tickets is questionable. But it's up to you whether you really want the dragon or not. Like, personally, I waited years for this dragon to get released, and finally they released it one day as a breedable. But waiting and waiting and waiting for this guy's eventual release was killing me. Like, this dragon used to be one of my favourites by far in the game. I still like it. I still like it a lot. It's just, it's like as soon as a dragon becomes a dragon of the week and you breed it, I don't know, it's like I forget about it. It's like I forget all the feelings and emotions that built up to me wanting the dragon. It's like suddenly I just forget everything. I don't know why. Oh, and the last thing that I do want to point out is that, you know, even though Heaven and Hades is going to be done in a week, we do have 14 days for all of the event stuff. So I believe the way it works is essentially the same way as the other divine events, how they give you an extra week to hatch all of your divines and all of your dragons that you might need for the Timeless Beauty collection, for example. So If you somehow manage to get a hold of Chrono Zeus, and you know, when a few people get a hold of Chrono Hades, they do need time to hatch it for this collection as well. They don't expect people to just gem all the way through, thank goodness gracious me. But do keep in mind that as well, if you want the root dragon, make sure you've actually hatched these dragons, because if they're just in your inventory and you're wondering why you don't have the root dragon, you do need to hatch the dragons for it to count. I know it's a very simple thing, but people will overlook that and they'll end up blaming someone else for not doing it and then scream that they didn't get the legendary. I've seen it before, I will see it again, but just reminding you, it's very easy to forget that. So if you're someone that's been putting off all of your hatching of your divine chest dragons, just do it and get a free legendary. Because most people that have been taking part in every event will have the pieces for quite a few of the epics by now, if not all of them. So go ahead and hatch them. A lot of people might be struggling with the fairy still, and unfortunately that is all down to RNG, but you know, what can you do? You got the free tickets out of this event, try your best. And while I'm here, I do want to point out that even though I got super duper lucky on level 4, my Android DML account is still in level 4 right now, because of how god-awful the luck is. I think the lowest amount of chests I've had to open on Android so far has been 4 out of 5, so trust me, for you guys out there that have had to open up every single chest, or close to every single chest, this account, even though it's not been the best luck so far, this has been luckier than that, but my Android account is way behind as a result, even though I have not missed a reset yet. So I understand your pain, I am working with you, hopefully we can still finish everything off on both of our accounts. But regardless, for now, thank you for joining me. Good luck, I hope you get your keys quick, and until next time, I will see you then.